but it was crawling with army soldiers who had all turned into zombies. The undead chased them relentlessly, but couldn't catch up. They finally reached the rendezvous point and spotted the helicopter. They waved frantically, and the pilot saw them, descending to the ground. Relief swept over them. They thought they were saved. But when they tried to board, the pilot refused, explaining that the fuel tank was empty. The only way they could leave was if they found fuel. Though disappointed, they had no choice but to search. They eventually found a gas station a fair distance away and worked together to bring fuel back to the helicopter, enduring exhaustion and the blazing sun. At last, they filled the tank. Then another problem arose. The boxer discovered the helicopter was too small to carry everyone, but she kept this to herself so no one would panic. When the time came, they all rushed to board. Despite the crowd, they managed to get inside, the doors shut, and the engine roared to life. The helicopter lifted off, and joy filled the cabin. But the moment didn't last. An alarm blared, and the pilot landed again. The helicopter was overweight. At least 3 people had to stay behind. To be fair, they decided to choose by playing rock, paper, scissors. Time was running out. The chef volunteered to stay. His large build took up too much weight, and he claimed he was strong enough to fight off zombies. They now needed just one more volunteer. The overweight girl bravely stepped forward. The team was moved by their sacrifice, thanking them and promising to come back for them. As the helicopter departed, the noise and alarm had attracted a massive horde. Zombies swarmed toward the chef and the girl. The chef gritted his teeth. He would fight them alone. The helicopter flew to a seaside resort. The soldier went ahead to scout and found the area seemingly safe. On the beach, they saw a group of zombies moving slowly and calmly. The narrator's voice joked, "Why so polite?" explaining they were beachgoers who had just turned, still dazed and adjusting. The team entered the resort and were stunned. Inside, people were partying as if the apocalypse wasn't happening. Music played, drinks flowed, and guests danced in the pool. The survivors refused to join in, staying alert in case of an attack. Then they spotted a famous singer performing live. Unable to resist, they attended the concert, enjoying her beautiful voice. But on a nearby big screen, they suddenly saw footage of the football player they had left behind at the amusement park. Shocked, they realized he was still alive. They thought he had been bitten and turned. They confronted him, pulling off his sunglasses to reveal strange eyes and a bite mark on his neck, but he explained he had never turned. After being bitten, nothing happened. Since then, he had walked among zombies without being attacked. Though wary, they listened, until the actress entered and froze when she saw him. She approached to greet him, but he remembered how she had betrayed his location to the zombie girl back at the amusement park. His face darkened. He grabbed her hand tightly. The others tensed, ready to intervene, but he released her with a smirk, claiming he was just joking. The soldier, suspicious, decided to keep an eye on him. They turned on the TV and were surprised to see the chef alive, appearing on a program where he described fighting off zombies on the island. Then a scientist appeared on screen, explaining that rare cases existed where bitten humans didn't turn. Studying them could lead to a cure for the zombie virus. The scientist offered a $50 million reward for anyone who could bring in such a person. Everyone realized the rare case was the football player. Their eyes turned toward him, and he sensed their intentions. Fearing he would be handed over for experiments, he excused himself to go to the bathroom, intending to escape. The group followed to keep watch. They sat together, planning to convince him to surrender for the sake of humanity. When he returned, they told him money wasn't their goal. They wanted to save the world. He agreed to turn himself in, but insisted on going alone. The soldier didn't trust him and insisted they all go together, under the guise of protecting him. Pretending to agree, the football player let them fuss over him, feeding him and treating him well, all while plotting his escape. The moment he had the chance, he bolted. They chased him through the streets, discovering he was unnaturally fast, a side effect of being half zombie, half human. The chase led to the concert hall, where they discovered the entire audience had turned. They learned that someone from the party had brought a friendly beach zombie for entertainment, but it had bitten him during a pool stunt, infecting the water. Everyone who swam became infected. The football player used this chaos to hide among the zombies, knowing they wouldn't attack him. The group kept their distance, watching until he slipped out the back door. They followed. The pursuit lasted through the streets until he darted into the major hotel. Fearing the place was full of zombies, they split into search teams, each exploring different rooms. The actress entered one room with a partner, only to find it full of zombies. They locked the door and fled, her partner leaping over one on the stairs and locking himself on the roof. The boxer entered another room with a man who quickly abandoned her at the sight of zombies, also fleeing to the roof.